Hello everyone, my name is Prashant and this is the part 4 of this series. In the first part, I showed you like how to stop instances using Boto3 library, and in the second part is also an extension of that. In the third part, I showed you how to perform this or automate this entire process using Lambda, but that automation we have done with the help of a AWS console. Now in the part 4th of this series, what we are going to do, we are going to automate this entire process by using Terraform. Okay. And just to refresh your memory, last time what we have done is that we have configured a CloudWatch rule, which is going to trigger our Lambda function. And then Lambda function is going to stop our EC2 instance. Okay. And in order for this Lambda function to stop the EC2 instance, we have configured something called IAM rule, right? So in this video, what we are going to do, we are going to write a Terraform code. First, we will start with the IAM rule. Okay. Second, we are going to write our Lambda function. I mean, not write our Lambda function, but to create that Lambda function with the help of Terraform. And the last and not the least, we are going to configure the CloudWatch rule, and that too we are going to do with the help of Terraform. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's get started. So if you go here and search for AWS IAM role and Terraform, click the first link. Okay, this one. Okay, so this is the way you can create an IAM role. So let's get started. So this is I'm creating a I have created a file called main.tf, which is the Terraform extension, and because we are going to create this in AWS, that's why my provider is AWS. But your Terraform support a number of provider. So if you go here, Terraform providers. Okay. So you will see that Terraform support a number of providers. So Terraform providers, not here. Okay. Or I will say Terraform supported providers. Yep, I think this is the one. So you can see Terraform support number of providers like AWS, Azure, GCP, almost all the clouds you can think of, Alibaba, Oracle, and then your Kubernetes. Even you have this Nomad, and I think it even support Jenkins, all those which you can think of, right? So let's go back to our code. So first thing, we need to specify the provider. The next thing is where we want our resources to be deployed, and I want these resources to be deployed in US West 2. Okay. Now the next part is we are going to define our IAM role, right? So let copy paste this code, and then I will explain to you guys what exactly we are going to do. Okay. And just to tell you, I am doing all this using Terraform version 1.0.2, okay, which is the latest version. Okay, so here I will say lambda hyphen role and EC2 start new. Okay, so basically we have defined a lambda IAM role resource, and this is going to be a variable which we are going to reference in our role. Then we gave our role a name, and then we have this assume role policy. Okay, and this we need to change. So let me copy paste this, or I will say rather than EC2 we have this lambda. Okay, and tag is this one. So tag is lambda EC2 role. I'm just giving my role a name. So let's take a look at this one by one. So first thing is we have defined our IAM role, we have defined a variable, and we are going to reference this variable in our code, and that we are going to look at later. We have gave our IAM role a name, and then we have defined a policy. Okay. So what exactly is a policy? So to understand that, let's go back to this, go back to IAM again. Okay. And in the last part, when I created this role manually using this AWS console, let me show you that role. This is EC2 stop start lambda role. Okay. And we have attached this policy to it, which we are going to do it after this, means in the Terraform code. Okay. And there is something called a trust relationship, which is this. So when we do it with the help of UI, so if you remember, let me go back here. Okay. When we started with creating a role, see, this is by default, right? Because we are doing it on the same account. We are not choosing any account or web identity or SAML. While using this, we have chosen lambda. Okay. So what exactly we are trying to do here is that we say that when this function is triggered, lambda is going to assume this role. Okay. And with the service name of this lambda.amazon.aws.com. And when it's going to assume a role, it's going to implement a policy, or it is going to have access to that policy. And what is that policy? That we are going to write it over here. So if you scroll down, yeah, this is how you can define a policy. Okay, let me copy paste that policy so that I do not have any typo mistake in my code. Okay. So for defining a policy, we have a resource called IAM policy. Okay. And I think I have missed that, but in case of Terraform, for each and everything, you have a resource. So resource equal to AWS IAM policy. The name, I have again given this name as this lambda policy, but you can give it any name to this variable. And that is coming next, like how we are going to reference this variable. The name of this policy is lambda EC2 stop start. Let me say new. Okay. And then inside this policy, we have the same policy that we have seen when we have created this code using the AWS console. Okay. Now we have created a role, okay, which is going to assume this lambda and which is going to use this policy. Now it's a time to integrate this policy with a role. And in order to do that, we have something called a IAM role policy attachment. So if you go here and under filter, let me search for it if we have. Yep. Let it load. Okay. So here I am going to define a role and the policy ARN. Okay. So this is the way I am going to attach this policy to this role. Okay. So let me go there. So I'm going to use a resource AWS IAM policy attachment. Okay. And then I'm going to give it a name. Let's say this guy. Okay. This is going to accept two arguments. And what are those arguments? First is a role. I will say role is equal to, and here I can define AWS IAM role dot lambda role dot the ARN of that role. Okay, and this is how we are going to use that variable that I have explained earlier, AWS IAM role. This AWS IAM role dot lambda hyphen role dot ARN. Okay, the second thing is the policy. So we need to specify the policy ARN. Okay, sorry, here we need to specify the name, right? That's what it mentioned here. We need to specify the name, and in second case we need to define the policy underscore ARN. Okay, in case after Terraform 0.1.2 we do not need to specify it under quotes, in double quotes, so that's why I'm skipping those. Dot, again you can specify the variable name, so AWS IAM lambda hyphen policy and dot ARN. In this case you need to specify the ARN, and ARN is going to be the AWS resource name. So if you go here, let me cancel this. Okay, and if you click on this role, actually that's the policy ARN, so let me show you from the policy point of view. Okay, basically this is going to be the ARN for this role, this one, your Amazon resource name, and this is used to identify that role. It's a unique ARN generated for a role. And if you go to policies, okay, and look for this EC2 stop start policy for lambda, like let's say this one. Okay, you will see at the top there should be a policy ARN, this guy. Okay, so for each and every resource in AWS, this is going to be generated, and this is used to uniquely identify that particular resource. So basically it always started with this ARN AWS and then the name of the resource. In this case it's IAM, your account number, then policy, then the name of that policy or whatever the resource you have. Okay, so that's what we are calling in our code. Okay, so in case of UI, all these things like integration of this policy ARN role, everything is going to happen behind the scene and it's going to be happen automatically. But in this case, in order to attach a role to your policy, you need to do it with the help of this resource. So now we are done with the first part of our code. We have defined the IAM role. The next thing is we need to define our lambda function and attach this IAM role to our this lambda function. Okay, so in order to do that, we are going to use a resource called AWS lambda function. So let's go back to their documentation, I mean the Terraform documentation, and look for a resource called AWS underscore lambda. Okay, AWS underscore lambda underscore function. Okay, so this is how you're going to define your lambda function. Okay, so the first thing is, again we are need to define this resource and the name, the variable name. Then you need to define the file name, and the file name should be in the zip format. So what do I mean by that? So let me go back to my lambda function, this lambda function. Okay, and I will show you the lambda function which we have created by the UI, this AWS console. So this one which we have created by the lambda means by the UI. And if you scroll down, okay, you will see something called upload from. Okay, so in case of UI, you have the option to directly edit the code in the editor. But when we are going to do it the Terraform, we have a two option. We can upload a zip file, or we can give a location of the Amazon S3 bucket. Because I mean, obviously in case of Terraform, we do not have access to this editor. So the way we are going to handle this is going to create a zip file. Okay, and let me create that zip file. Okay, and inside the zip file we are going to have our code. Okay, and I already uploaded this code in my GitHub repository, so don't worry if you need to refer that code later. So let me copy paste that code first, and then I will explain it to you. Okay, we have already discussed this code like now 2 times. The only difference is we are going to introduce a function which is called a lambda handler, which is an entry point for lambda, and then it is going to accept an event and context. Okay, we have already spoken about this event and context in the earlier video, where event is because lambda is event driven, so some event is going to happen which is going to trigger this function, and the context is like when this lambda function is executing, it's going to create an ID, how much time it is going to take, all those information stored in the context. And then we are creating this Boto3 resource, we are iterating over the region, and then we are just filtering out the instance which is in running state, and if it's in running state we are going to stop it. Okay, so in this case, I mean, if you do not understand this code, please check my earlier video. There I've already explained this code, how this code, and we go step by step how to build this code. So in case of lambda, what we are going to do, we are going to zip this code. So the command we are going to use is zip lambda.zip and lambda.py. Okay, so now you will see we have this lambda.zip, the zip version of this lambda.py. Okay, now again go back to our code. Okay, and now we are again start working on our lambda function again. Okay, so our lambda function was where we are in this guy. So file name is going to be lambda.zip. Okay, then we need to define the function name. So in this case, because we named our file as lambda.py, we going to specify our function name as lambda. Okay, and inside that lambda.py, the entry point is lambda_handler. So our handler is lambda_handler. Okay, now the next point is the role. Here we are going to specify the role we have created in the previous step. This guy, this role. Okay, and runtime. Here we need to specify the source code hash for that particular function. This is how we are going to, this is what lambda is going to take. And lastly, the runtime, like if we want our function to be what will be the runtime for our function. Okay, and in case if you need to define an environment variable, you can define it like this. So let me copy that code and then I will show you how exactly it is going to look like. So the same thing, resource is this. I can give it any variable name. The file name is lambda.zip. The function name is lambda, right? Then we are referencing that role ARN, which is going to be AWS IAM role, lambda role, and see here lambda role dot ARN in our code. Okay, lambda.handler. The handler is will start with our function name, and what will be the entry point, and the entry point is lambda_handler. Okay, then the source code of their same file name, the runtime environment, and in case like we see that the default timeout for lambda function is 3 seconds. So if you want your code to be executed more than 3 seconds, then you can define a timeout over here. Okay, so now we have done with the two part. We have done with the two part of our code. Like the first part is done, IAM role definition, the lambda, and now look at the last part, which is defining the CloudWatch rule. Okay, And for that, what we are going to do, we are again going to go back to this and search for CloudWatch event rule. Okay, so see here, CloudWatch event rule and this one. So basically you need to go through their website at least once and try to figure out what exactly is going to match your requirement. So we are going to define a resource called CloudWatch event rule. Let me start coding it and then I will show you the name and the description. Or let me copy paste this code. Okay, we are going to define a AWS CloudWatch event rule, and let me again, this is a variable, so we can give it any name. Okay, the name is going to be, let's say, EC2-rule. Okay, description is to trigger EC2 stop instance every, let's say, 1 minute for our demo. Okay, event pattern, we don't need event pattern for our use case. Okay, what we need, let's go back to their documentation and scroll down. We need something called schedule expression. So let's say this is, guys, schedule expression is equal to we have different ways that we have already discussed in my previous video. You can either define a rate, or you can define a cron expression. So for this video I'm defining a rate, and like I mentioned last time, this cron expression or this date and time will be in your time will be in UTC. So please make the conversion before implementing your code. But for this demo I'm going to use a rate of 1 minute. Okay. So we have defined the first part of the code. Okay, now if you remember, when we defined this CloudWatch event rule, let me go back to the CloudWatch event rule. So we have done the first part, that we have defined the rule part. Okay, now I need to define the destination. So let me show you. So when you create a rule, right, you have this event source. So that part we have defined, that this is going to be a schedule, but we need to define the target. So for example, here target, you need to select your Lambda function. So in order to do that, you are going to use something called CloudWatch event target. So let's go back here. Okay, Lambda function and CloudWatch event rule, and if you see here, we have something called CloudWatch event target. So here we need to specify something called a target ID. Okay, so let me copy this, or let me see. Okay, so let me copy this and it will be much easier for me to explain it to you guys. So what we are doing here, we are defining a resource called CloudWatch event target. This can be any name, and the rule is going to be applied on what? This EC2 rule. Okay, so rule is going to be, sorry, not to apply, we are going to use this rule and we are going to reference it to this event rule, which is AWS CloudWatch event EC2-rule.name. Okay, target ID is what? Lambda. So if you see here, our target is Lambda, right? And then we need a function name. So that we are going to reference AWS Lambda function, the variable name, and the ARN of that Lambda function. Like I mentioned, every resource have a unique ARN. Okay. Now, first time when I wrote this code, I thought this is sufficient, but I need to do one more thing. So if you remember, when the first time we created the IAM role, and then we created a IAM policy, in order to bind this IAM role to the IAM policy, I need to use one more resource called policy attachment. So similarly, to bind this CloudWatch event rule to this CloudWatch event target, I need to use something called AWS Lambda permission. So what this Lambda permission will do, or sorry, not for binding this, what this lambda permission will do, it's going to give this lambda function a permission to allow the CloudWatch rule. So sorry, not sorry, I think I confused you guys, but this is not for binding this is for binding the lambda to the CloudWatch rule. I mean, it's giving the lambda function a permission to execute this rule. So let me go here and search for something called lambda permission. Okay, so see here, we have this resource called lambda permission. Okay, and this is going to allow the CloudWatch rule. Okay, so when the lambda function is going to invoke, it's going to allow the function, whatever be our lambda function, to send a event rule to the to the rule. So basically, this rule has the permission to trigger this CloudWatch to this lambda function. That's the only thing it's going to do. Okay, so let me repeat again. So we need some kind of a permission, so that this rule should have some permission to trigger this lambda function. So that we are going to handle it over here. And let me copy paste this code. This. So we have this lambda permission, which allow the, means this can be any variable. So allow execution from CloudWatch. Okay. So this is giving this function a permission to execute a rule from a CloudWatch. The action is the lambda invoke function. The function name is again the same. We are taking this, but this time we are taking the function name. Event is going to be any AWS event. Okay. And the source ARN of CloudWatch rule is this EC2 underscore rule. Okay. So with all this in place, let's run Terraform init. Hopefully this will work. Okay. It's downloading the required plugin because this is the first time I'm executing this code. Okay, all good. I always want to format my code before pushing it to the GitHub. So it's formatted my code, which makes sure that proper indentation is in place. Okay. The next thing is Terraform plan to see what other resources it is going to build. Okay, you see 7 resources. So let me scroll up. So it's going to create this event rule first. Okay. Then this target lambda function. Okay, target, event target, the policy, IAM policy. Okay. Then the lambda role, then the policy attachment, then finally the lambda function and the lambda permission. So Terraform is smart enough to figure it out, like what is the dependency. So for example, first we need to create a role, and then only we need to create a function. And similarly, we need to create a CloudWatch event rule first, and then we need to assign to the lambda function. So all these dependency, the Terraform is smart enough to figure it out by himself. Okay. Now the last step is Terraform apply, and hopefully this will work. So in the first part of Terraform apply, as you guys know, it's going to show the same plan. And if you think it's okay, then we will do yes. Okay, so it's creating those lambda role, the CloudWatch event rule, policy, functions, everything. Okay, we can go back to our AWS console. Let me see if the rule is created. So far, no. Okay. EC2 rule. Okay, lambda policy name, lambda EC2 stop start news already exists. Okay. So I need to change the name of that. start new. Let me give it 1 and execute this code again. Yes. This is schedule expression is not valid. Okay, let me check. Event rule easy to rule. Why it's not valid? Okay, this rate equal to 1 minute. Yeah, this looks good to me. Let me copy paste it again. Maybe some typo. Okay, rate 1 minute. I do not see any issue in this. Let me execute it again. Okay, still complaining. This is not valid. Let me put it on for 5 minutes because I tested it for 5 minutes and it works. This is weird because I know it's worked for 5 minutes, so I don't know why it is not working here. Oh, that's weird. It works for 5 minutes but not for 1 minute. I need to see what exactly is the issue. But let's go back to the AWS console and verify that all the resources are created properly. I mean, it may be a bug. If that is the case, I need to file a bug for uh, Terraform. And you see we have this rule set up. Let's go to our Lambda console. Okay, we have this new Lambda function. Okay, let's wait for this to be loaded. Okay, it's the same Lambda function, and let's go to monitor because we set up to be triggered every 5 minutes. Let's wait for that to be triggered. If not, then I will pause this video and will come back when that function will be triggered, or I will modify the interval. That's why I want to set it up as a 1 minute, but somehow it is not taking, which is kind of a weird, really weird. Okay, so many logs. So this guy 2 minutes ago, and let me see logs in CloudWatch. Okay, still loading, and we can see this one. Okay, so right now, yeah guys, finally I got the logs, and this is what I want to show you, that in the CloudWatch logs you should see this, like it is going to iterate over all the region, and then it is going to stop the instance. So the issue was that I have this competing lambda function as well as the CloudWatch event rule, and those two, like the other rule is going to trigger the other lambda function, and which is stopping my instance. So this is what I want to show you guys. I know it's a long video. So thanks for watching this video. If you have any question, please post in the comment section. I will try my best to answer those questions. But thanks again for watching this video.